Welcome! I'm Sarah Blessing, and this is Project Next. Over the weekend, U.S. forces carried out a bold military operation inside Venezuela that resulted in the capture of President Nicolás Maduro and his wife, who are now in custody in New York and facing federal charges. President Donald Trump publicly stated that the United States will run Venezuela, at least temporarily, to oversee a transition and manage the country's vast resources, including its oil. The move has sparked intense debate at home and around the world, with supporters calling it decisive and critics warning it could violate international law and embroil the U.S. in the conflict abroad. Let's unpack what really happened and what it means for Venezuela and U.S. foreign policy and why this matters to you. And to help make sense of the latest developments, I'm joined by my incredible guest and friend, Kelly Thompson, who is running for Congress in Indiana's 3rd District. Kelly, thanks so much for fitting me in your busy schedule. How are you, my friend?
I am great. We are busy, but I always have time for you, Sarah. Thank you so much. I love the opportunity to break things down with people who really care. Thank you.
I'm just I'm really thankful. You're awesome. I'm so thankful that you're running for Congress. I love how you kind of get what Project Next is also doing. You want to cut out the spin.
Right.
You're not running as a Democrat. You're running as a person who cares about your state and the country and wants to make it better for all of us. You don't want to sugarcoat or fear monger. You want to tell the truth. And that is who I needed. I needed somebody that can tell the truth about what is going on in the country, because this is scary. I'm scared. I'm feeling anxiety. When I woke up on Saturday and heard the news, I was like, what does this mean? And I'm starting to unpack it. And then I'm seeing all the divisive things from the right and the left. And I just really wanted to have somebody on quickly
Yeah.
that could explain it to me and to other people that I think are also feeling anxious about it. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep.
So
This is serious. You're
this
right.
is serious.
Yep.
So I'll just lay out a little bit about what happened and you add in.
Okay.
We're gonna go over the news,
Sure.
and then we're gonna like try to simplify and explain what does this mean for us, for
Yep.
you watching that are feeling nervous too. What does this mean for you?
Right.
So it was like Friday night, Saturday morning, it was like 2 in the morning ish. Caracas, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Um,
Caracas.
Caracas. Is
Yep.
that the capital of
Yeah.
Venezuela?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So the capital of Venezuela starts getting special forces come in for this planned attack by the Trump administration, where they kidnap the president and his wife.
Yep.
Now, this president like had an election that seems to be not fair. It
Yeah.
wasn't a fair
He's
election.
not a good dude.
No, not a good
Not a
person.
good dude.
It's one of those things where it looks like a democracy, they act like a democracy, but really it's authoritarian,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
not holding fair
Yeah.
elections anymore. So he's not a good person.
Right.
So he gets kidnapped, his wife gets kidnapped by us, by American forces, taken to New York City, where they said he's going to be held on trial.
Yep.
Normally, most people would be thinking this sounds good. He's a
Mm-hmm.
scary bad dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's a scary dictator.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trump gets on at 11 on Saturday morning and gives an address and says, we stopped this bad person who's letting drugs into the country and acting like it's about drugs, and saying we're now safer and that America is going to temporarily run Venezuela. And we're supposed to be like reassured and thinking this is a good thing. And I want to unpack that. So can
Yeah.
you kind of
Yeah.
explain?
Sure. Let's hit on a couple overarching things that need to be understood in order to understand where we're at right now. Okay. And you are right in saying that I am running this campaign and I live my life as a unifier. Okay. I think that the power of America and the power of humanity is in our ability to come together, because when we do come together, we get what we deserve. Okay, not just what we want, but what we deserve. That is the whole premise of my campaign. And so I run a campaign of welcome. And so I want this talk that we have today to continue down that vein.
I like
and
that.
to know that I am, for those of you who don't know, a mother of 6 and a grandmother of soon to be 13.
Wow.
So we have a lot on the line just in my little family. When we all get together for Christmas, my husband and I and the people we created and their people, there's 26 of us. Okay. So that's a lot. And so there's too much on the line for me to be a part of any spin. So I'm going to try to give you the truth as I understand it today. And what I tell people is when I'm running, I will do the same. And when I'm in the office, I will do the same. So here we go. We have to understand first and foremost that when Donald Trump was running for office, he took $1 billion from big oil. Okay. This is important. And he was very, it's quid pro quo. That means you do for me, I do for you. So here's the deal. Take that understanding that big oil gave Donald Trump $1 billion and they expect something in return. So put that in a little corner. Okay.
Okay.
Then you have to understand that we have a president right now whose approval ratings, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat listening right now, the facts are his approval ratings are in the tank, right? They're not good. Let's just say that. So put that over here. And politicians understand that when you're the president of the United States and your approval ratings are in the toilet, then if you can somehow drum up patriotism and get us to rally around the country, that could bolster your approval ratings. Okay. So he owes big oil and we have approval ratings in the tank. Now let's back up a little bit to this summer when he passed his big, beautiful bill. Okay. And we understood after the passage of that bill how terrible it was going to be for Americans. Okay. He actually took almost to the penny the same amount of money that he cut from SNAP and Medicaid and gave it to the billionaires. I know that you know all of this. This is important.
Yep.
The reason this is important is because we have a president who's terrified of the midterms. Now, I forgot something very important. We also have tariffs at play. And I can't believe I forgot that. So huge and devastating. I personally know people who have lost family members to suicide because of the effects of tariffs on farms or family businesses. Okay.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and it breaks all of our hearts. But what we have are politicians, and we have had for too long, politicians who don't understand that the games they are playing involve monopoly pieces that are ourselves. And so we become their pawns in this game, and they don't see us as human. They don't see us as people who love our families and want.
You're so right.
Best, right?
You're so
and
right.
So
yes.
When you bring all of this together, what we have is a president and an administration and a Republican Party who's terrified of the 2026 midterms. I promise I'm going to bring this all back to Venezuela. Okay. But because of that, they're grasping at all kinds of straws right now in order to try somehow to keep control of the House and the Senate,
right,
so that Donald Trump doesn't get impeached.
Right.
I know that to be true.
And Indiana comes into this too, Kelly,
absolutely,
because Trump really thought he was going to get away with redistricting our congressional lines and getting 2 more seats in this next election.
Right.
And Indiana stood up to him.
Yes,
and stopped it. And
yes.
So that's another form of desperation there.
Yes.
Our state stopped and we did not succumb to Trump's bullying. So that's another grasp at straws. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm laying all this out to let you know how desperate this administration is.
And then did we mention the Epstein files? The Epstein files are horrible.
Okay.
That's horrible for Trump.
Yes. So much bad news on every front. And so when he gets up there on TV, when he does and says everything's great, he used to be able to lie at this high level where he could lie about Russia, or he could lie about China, or he could lie about the stuff that's happening out in the world that most of us don't have a finger on that pulse, right? But when you're lying to me and telling me that my refrigerator's full and my wallet is full, and I should thank him, but when I go to my refrigerator or I look in my wallet and it's not true, his lies don't work anymore. And so his desperation level goes up.
Kelly, that is what is happening. Farmers in my county are so upset with the Trump administration.
And rightly so.
Yes. And these are a lot of people that voted for Trump. People that voted for Trump are now being hurt by
Yes.
his own policies.
Yes.
And so he can say, farmers love me. I'm the best president ever for farmers in the world. He can say that, but they're actively being hurt by him.
And they're
So,
starting to post their own videos telling their
right,
story about
right.
how they feel
Look at
betrayed.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yes.
It's been so fascinating to see that she really believed Trump. She
Yes.
really believed him, and she believed a lot of these conspiracy theories, and she went on and on about how great Trump was, and then she got in there and she figured it out for herself that he's making up lies. Like she said, he doesn't actually have a plan for healthcare. I thought he did. And so she's
Because he
saying,
said he did.
so it's
Yes.
interesting to see people that were followers of Trump come
Yes.
out and say, wait a minute, we've been lied to. And
Yes.
so this is bad for him, good for unifying the country if we're
Yes.
welcoming to these people
As
that
long
are
as we
realizing the
don't
truth.
give up.
Right?
That's
And,
my
and
message now is we have to unify now. We have to stop you voted for this. We have to stop with, I can't believe you were so stupid, or I can't believe you're a libtard, or I can't believe, we have to stop that.
right.
Because
the
right
division,
now,
the divisive tactics, we got to work together because
we have
stuff
to
is
work
getting
together.
real.
We have an administration that right now thinks that the entire world is comprised of 905 billionaires. And that's all they care about. That's it. I forgot to mention our jobs market. I mean, we're losing jobs by the hundreds of thousands right now. It's a hard time, not just federal jobs that got cut, but actually, I met a guy the other day. His name was Sean, and he's like, I'm going to be losing my job. And I'm like, well, what do you do? And he's like, well, I work at a rubber plant. He said, but between the cost of our inputs, they're too high. And now the market for our output is gone. And so now my whole business is gone. We're all losing our jobs. So this is tariffs at work. And no matter how many times he tells us that tariffs aren't taxes, we know they are. Because what did he do when prices got too high? He thought, maybe I'll lower some tariffs. That's an admission of guilt. He knew then, when he said that, he knew that those tariffs were driving our prices up high. I just had to order a security camera the other day, and it said right on there, this is the price with tariff. It added another $100. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a real thing. Okay, so Venezuela. Let's get back to Venezuela for a second, right? So we watched the United States military start to assemble boats off the coast of Venezuela, right? And we had aircraft carriers, we had helicopters, we had our sons and daughters and husbands and wives down there readying for something, right? And then we started bombing boats out of the sky, right? And
yeah,
our
I was listening to
administration was saying,
BBC
oh,
today, and they said they've killed our country, our government has killed about 100 people in these like boats and stuff. And
exactly.
we don't know for sure
It's
whether
over
these
100.
really
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
bad people that were.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Let's say they're drug dealers.
Right.
What do we do with drug dealers? What do we do?
Arrest them and
We
give
arrest
them have a trial.
Yes.
Due process.
Right. Are we allowed to murder drug dealers? No.
I didn't think so.
No. Right.
But we are.
Right. Okay. So again, this is going to tie back to Nicolás Maduro. Okay. And so when we started bombing these boats and we came up with this term called narco-terrorism, right? And I thought, narco-terrorism, that's a new word. What are we talking about? What's narco-terrorism? And then I remembered, okay, so the president cannot, this is important to know, all of the listeners out there and viewers and all of you people who are paying attention, and thank you for being people who pay attention. I want you to understand that the president does not have the power to declare war. Doesn't have it.
What I wanted to
lies
talk about.
in Congress.
Yes.
Right? That's part of the no king. We want Congress to have the ability to decide how much taxes we collect and where that money goes. That's Congress's responsibility, even though we've watched the president usurp that. Okay. But also Congress has the power to declare war, and only Congress has the power to declare war. Except for after 9/11, we decided that we would give the president the ability under a terrorist attack to move more swiftly. Okay. And so when he started using the term narco-terrorism, a little ding, 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 ding went off in my head. And I thought, oh, if he can somehow tie this to terrorism, he's going to feel like that's going to give him the, what is it called? The authorized use of military force, AUMF, right? If he gets, if he can tie this to terrorism, he can bypass Congress. So I did a video months ago about this, and I said, watch out, because mark my words, he's got war on the horizon, but he doesn't want to have to go to Congress. That's exactly what just happened.
I mean, does it seem like he's trying to do something similar to after 9/11 when the country really united behind George Bush?
Patriotism.
And we passed the Patriot Act. We passed things where we willingly gave up a lot of our freedoms in order to stop terrorism because of our fear.
And we still thought we were the good guys.
Yes.
Right?
And
we could trust our government.
This long, awful war where so many people died, Americans and people in the Middle East, and we never fixed it. We just got out of there, and then we heard a bunch of people that were helping us. We didn't help them, like we said we would.
Yes.
So now we are kind of looking at the dust of that.
Yes.
And seeing that was awful. Let's not do it again.
Yes.
It kind of seems like, but it also we didn't have a 9/11, thankfully.
No.
It seems like we're having a fake.
We're having a fake
drugs. This is about saving us from drugs.
Okay. Well, there's so many directions we could go from here. We could talk about drugs.
I just want to mention this really fast. Didn't Trump pardon a Mexican drug cartel not that long ago?
Yeah, no. The president of Honduras.
The president.
Can you explain that? We had arrested, tried, and imprisoned. Okay. For drugs. For the amount of drugs. Something like, I don't even know, 400 million pounds of cocaine or something that came into this country. But our president just pardoned him and said, you know what? You can now go free. So for the exact same thing that Donald Trump is claiming the president of Venezuela has done, which we have no proof that he's done, okay? We have now taken him, brought him to New York City to try him and imprison him. However, we have the president of Honduras who's already been tried and convicted and imprisoned here for that same thing we just pardoned. But Donald Trump sells his pardons. Okay. Someone were talking to somebody the other day and they were like, well, I don't like the way Nancy Pelosi made a lot of money off the stock market. I said, agreed.
Yeah, me too. I don't like that either.
They should not be allowed to trade stocks. Congress, sorry, you have insider information.
We got to get the dark money out of Congress.
We have to take care of this. We have to fix this. When I win and I get there, I'm going to try to pass that legislation. There are people in Congress right now who agree with me. We just need more of me, right?
Yes.
To say that's not
fair.
And
it is a bipartisan issue.
It is 100% bipartisan issue. And so I said to his name is John. And I said, hey, John, I agree with you. And he's like, really? You agree with me? Because he knew I was running as a Democrat. And I said, yes, absolutely. I agree with you. That's wrong. And so he went on, he goes, but I guess it probably happens on both sides. And I said, yeah, it does happen on both sides. I said, look at how much money the Trump family has made since he's been in office in just this second term. And he looked at me and he said, he's not making any money. In fact, he's not even taking a salary for his presidency. And I said, oh, I don't know, John. I said, look it up, but just go ahead and type in cryptocurrency, Donald Trump's cryptocurrency alone, and look at the amount of money that he's made. So I say all this to say, if you have a president who can sell pardons to people who've been tried and convicted of crimes, there's corruption there. Right? The president should not be able to enrich himself because of the power that he has as the president of the United States. But what that does is negate his claim that this is why we're arresting Nicolás Maduro from Venezuela. So when I hear him say that, throw that away.
He's not holding the other bad guy with drugs accountable shows that's a lie.
Right.
Trump saying he kidnapped or orchestrated the kidnap of the Venezuelan president and his wife over drugs is an obvious lie. I just want everybody to understand that we're being lied to similarly to the way we were lied to why we were getting in these wars after 9/11.
And I don't know if you watched the president's news conference yesterday morning when he talked about what happened in Venezuela. I watched it yesterday, and I'm glad you watched it.
I just read about it.
He spoke, and one of the military men spoke, and Pete Hegseth spoke, and Marco Rubio spoke. And all through that, they never once mentioned democracy. They never once mentioned making the world safer, but they mentioned oil over a dozen times. In fact, he went so far as to call it our oil. This is oil that's in Venezuela. And let's be abundantly clear. They have the largest oil reserves on the planet, but it's hard to get to. It's in mountainous regions. It's deep. It's chunky. It takes a lot of refining. It takes a lot of money to access the oil that they have. And so we have companies here, right? We've got Exxon, you've got
we've got lots
Mobil,
of
you've
oil
got, right,
refinery
you've got
companies.
BP in overseas. You've got these companies that are chomping at their bit to get at it because they have unlimited money. They have so much money. They can go in and do whatever they want. But to call what is under the ground in another country our oil is wrong, right? I told my husband this morning, we were watching the news, and because we used to have our oil companies in their country. They kicked us out. And so we decided that's our oil. We should be allowed back in. No, that's not fair. They get to say who's there. I said to my husband, I was looking out the window in our living room, and I said, it's like I went over there to my neighbor's house and I started to rob them of what they had. Or they were even having a yard sale, and I was over there buying stuff, and they had stuff that I wanted. And then all of a sudden they said, yard sale's over. You got to get out. And so I came home and I stewed on it for a week. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to go back and get the rest of my stuff. It's not my stuff. It's their stuff. And for us to look at the globe and to say, if another sovereign nation has something that I want, I can simply go take it because I'm bigger, stronger, and wealthier. That is a bully mentality. It makes the whole world less safe. And you want to know what else it does? It makes it really easy for terrorists to recruit new members. Who's going to love the United States when this stuff goes on?
I think
to mention, the fact that it's illegal.
The far to the right is so being lied to. They're getting so much propaganda right now, acting like this is what the Venezuelan people want. Can we just imagine ourselves in Venezuela's shoes for a minute? What if another country came in and said, Trump is doing things illegally and that country needs saving? Mm-hmm. And they came in and they bombed the White House. And they captured Trump and Melania.
And killed 40 people in the process.
Yeah,
we killed 40 people in the process.
Americans in the process and destroyed historical lands. And they took them to another country to try them. What gives that country the right to come into our country and do that? So let's imagine, you guys that are listening to this propaganda, it happening to our country. How would you feel? Right. I did not vote for Trump. I am not a fan. I am doing everything I can to get somebody more centered on democracy elected the next time.
Right.
And that is one of the reasons I'm having you on the show. I adore you. You would be great in Congress.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I don't want another country coming in and taking over and saying they're doing it in the name of helping us because Trump is doing things illegally, which I believe he is. So we got to realize that. Yep. I am not liking our president. I don't want another country to come in and take him over. So imagine how the people in Venezuela feel right now. And I don't think they are super excited about having the United States coming in control, especially if you look at the past. We've done this before, right, Kelly? We've done this before with other dictators.
And it hasn't worked out well.
Countries. Can you give us a summary of what has happened in the past?
Yes, we have a history of, let's back up. We are a big country. We are a strong country. We are a wealthy country. We are a country who we pride ourselves on being a free country and a country full of brave, honest, hardworking people. We also want to believe and have grown up believing that we are the global good guy. Okay, that the world looks up to us. And what
I know that's what I thought growing up.
Yes, and I've learned that the world, I get messages from around the world. We've exploded. We have 70-some thousand followers now. And I get messages. I just had somebody message on one of my posts yesterday. It was all in German. I had to hit translate to read what it was. But they're all watching us. And they care about us. And they want America to make it. Okay?
Yes.
But we have a history of, because we're bigger and stronger and louder And we have I was going to say almost, but an unlimited military budget. Okay. We look around the world and decide, where can we, this is what they're going to tell us, make the world a safer, better place. But instead we go, where can we go to make more money? Where can we go to get what we need? Other countries do this too, big, strong ones. If I can go back to your analogy a minute ago and said, how would we feel if another country came in and did this? I want to expound on that just for a minute, because we're so big and we're so strong, I don't think we can really wrap our head around what that would feel like. So let's use China, for example, okay? Because we have to get a country that we're a little bit afraid of. And
Okay.
there are few on this planet that the Americans are a little bit afraid of, all right? But let's say we have a big country, we got China. They're going to come over and they're going to say, Donald Trump is breaking the Constitution of the United States. Fact. He is ruling in a way that's hurting the American people. Fact. And he is breaking UN law and the Geneva Convention. And so globally, he's breaking the laws. Fact. Okay. And if China then comes over, removes him, bombs, kills 40 people, and then does a press conference where they don't mention the American people, but they say oil. We're going to take their oil. That's what our country did. That's what we did yesterday. And that's what's wrong. That is a bully. And nobody here wants to be a bully. I don't want to be a bully. You don't want to be a bully. But the world is scary. So it makes us feel better to know that we're in the strongest country in the world, right? But we have to put checks and balances on this type of power. We have to have people in office who care, who are going to say, no, you can't. Listen, let me give you a practical example of what has happened since we started bombing those boats in the Caribbean Sea. I don't know if you're familiar with the Five Eyes. The Five Eyes is a cooperative intel group that is with Canada, Great Britain, Australia, and is it New Zealand? Is that? Yeah, I think that's the fourth. And with us, we make the five. Okay. We share intel with each other. That makes us all safer. Everybody's got eyes and ears listening all over the planet. We share intel. We started bombing those fishing boats, even if they are carrying drugs, whatever. We started bombing them extrajudicially, meaning without authority, right? And the Five Eyes became Four Eyes. They said, we are done sharing intelligence with the United States because they're taking our intel and they are committing war crimes. That makes all of us less safe. That is a very real national security risk at play because we have an administration that wants Venezuelan oil. That is what is happening right now.
This is about money.
This is about money
and power.
Yes, but we are burning bridges with our allies all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I just want to talk about a big giant percent of humans fall in the trap of believing manipulation. And I was one of these people during 9/11. I had voted for Al Gore. And I was a junior in college, Kelly, when 9/11 happened. And then I switched to Republican. And I believed all that propaganda, all the weapons of mass destruction, the reasons for war. I started telling my parents who were like, this is bad. I was like, nope, you're wrong. There's weapons of mass destruction. I'm so glad Bush won. We need to do this to protect ourselves. We got to stop the terrorists. And I completely bought it. And some of it was because I was young. I was in my early 20s. And another part was I was very misinformed about terrorists. I really just thought, I didn't really realize how bad they were until 9/11 happened. I was not paying attention to the news.
I think most people were that way. We had never had a terrorist attack on American soil up until that point.
I'm sympathetic. I'm empathetic to people that are believing what Trump is saying now. Things are scary. The world is scary with the internet and the division and the rage bait that happens all the time. The 24-hour news that we're bombarded with. I get why people want to believe this man who says, "Don't worry, vote for me. I'll take care of you. Everything's fine. Look, I just got rid of this bad dictator. America's the strongest country in the world. We can do whatever we want. Believe me, this strong authoritarian man, I'm going to take care of you." I get why a big chunk of the population believes him. Right now, it's our job, the Americans that understand, that the people that understand manipulation, it is our job to empathetically, kindly have discussions with our friends and family and help them to understand this isn't about drugs and making us safer. This is about money and power, and it actually makes us less safe. It's also about Trump's ego, and his ratings are down, and he's worried about midterms, like you said. This is about him staying in power, and that group, that authoritarian group, staying in power, because in this next election in November of this year, we have a chance of slowing him down until we can vote somebody else in better.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a chance. You know, I was speaking with a state senator and who is a Republican a few months ago. And this senator told me that they were on the phone call when Donald Trump called and was telling them to redistrict. And he actually said, if you don't do this, I will be impeached. That was the message.
That is fascinating.
He knows, and he articulated that. And I had a Republican state senator tell me that. Okay, so they're not going to tell me that if that's not true, right? That's their guy. So we have to understand what's at play. You are right. We have an administration that's in free fall and panic, and is self-sabotaging at every move. Can we just for a second understand? I was thinking a week ago, I was thinking about how scary it is to have an administration that doesn't care if their voting bloc is mad or in pain. When they passed that big, beautiful bill, they knew it was going to hurt us. They know rural hospitals will close.
And that's why they pushed it to 2027. Right? They're like, they'll believe our lies.
Right. Yeah.
And then the pain will happen too late. We'll be fine.
Right. But let's do the tariffs now. And so we'll have the job loss now. But when you have an administration that doesn't think their voters matter, right? This is why when Congress wouldn't even entertain the idea of extending these ACA subsidies, I thought, what are you doing? Why would you do this? This hurts red states more than blue states. But
I think they really think we are so stupid. They really think that they can keep hurting us and saying we're not hurting you when they're actively being hurt. And we can see in the ratings, in the polls, it's not working. So let's try something else.
And here's the funny thing. It would be funny if it wasn't so serious, but when I make my videos or my posts about issues, and I try to keep them at 2 or 3 minutes, so they're just bite-sized nuggets to help people understand what's really going on. When I do get the haters occasionally that come after me, they'll say things like this: "Oh, yeah, but you want men in women's restrooms," right? And these stupid culture war things
that
aren't even happening. We don't have a problem with this. But we do have a problem with childcare. Do we understand? We are at a crisis point with childcare. I'm currently working with a group of childcare providers, trying to help them organize and form a lobbying group because they're terrified, and not for themselves. They're terrified for the children that they've been caring for, that the parents are losing their vouchers and can't do it anymore. And so now when they're watching and having the parents come to them and say, I had one childcare provider tell me this. I had a mother come to me and say, I without the vouchers, I can't afford. She has 3 kids. And she has to leave them home when she goes to work. But her eldest child is 8. 8, right? So the childcare provider looks at me like, I don't even know what to tell her. I don't know what to tell her. I mean, her children aren't safe, but it's a single mom that has to work. What have we done? We've created an economy where everybody has to work all the time, but then we've said no childcare for you, but have all these babies You got to have babies. We got to keep our population
Yeah,
up.
make
But
sure
no
you have
SNAP,
a bunch of kids.
no
And
child
don't
care,
work.
no health
Woman,
care, and
you stay
also,
home.
woman,
Yeah,
don't work.
and
Don't
take
work.
care of them, even
Yeah.
though there's no way one income could cover the expense of all of that with health
Nope.
care.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
it is so sad. Somebody just posted it's gaslighting.
Yeah.
They keep hurting us
It
and
is
acting like it's
gaslighting.
our fault. They're bullying us. They're telling us it's our fault. We're not working hard enough, pulling our bootstraps, and then they keep hurting us. And we're like, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure it's you hurting us.
That's okay. Okay. Pause. Let's just take a dramatic pause. Da-da-da-da. It is them that is hurting us. We are not hurting each other.
No.
We aren't.
My neighbor that loves Trump is the nicest person, and we take care of each other. We
Right?
look out for each other's houses, and guess
Yes.
what? He's a
Yes.
nice man.
Yep.
And I have got to tell everybody that thinks just because somebody voted for Trump that they're an evil person that wants to
Right.
take away our rights.
Right.
Nope. He's getting propaganda about how great Trump is. He's getting propaganda about how we want to hurt and take away rights.
Exactly.
And we gotta
Yes.
stop, see the propaganda, see the fake divisive things for
Yes.
what it is they want us fighting so they
Yes.
can keep controlling us and making money at the top. We have got to break through, be smarter, work together. And
Yes.
that's why I started Project Next with Tim Peck.
Yes.
To shine a light on that.
Yes.
Because I got so sick of my Democratic side acting like all Republicans are to blame for everybody's mistake. No. Guess what, Democrats? You're to blame for a bunch of stuff too. And we got money problems in there too. So could we all just collectively agree both sides got problems? I'm not saying they're equal.
No.
I'm not saying one side's being a dictator and the,
Right.
I'm not saying both sides are trying to be dictators, but I'm saying both sides got problems. Let's stop acting like one side's perfect and one side evil, and let's work together and actually fix this stuff.
Let's actually work together and fix this stuff. Here's what I want us to understand. We have a government that is supposed to be of the people, by the people, for the people. But how many people feel like they're qualified to be a part of the government? We all should feel qualified to be a part of our government. We all should be running for office.
Oh,
but what
such a
we've
good
done
point.
is we've said, no, I don't look the part. I don't talk the right way. I don't have a college degree, some might say, or I'm not up enough on current events, or no, those qualifiers, you'll learn what you need to learn when you get the job. Okay. We have decided that we need to elect the perfectly polished salespeople, instead of the people who have actually felt our pain.
Right.
I've had my home in foreclosure. I've had a vehicle repossessed. I have a daughter who's a single mom. I have a daughter married to a beautiful wife. I have union workers. I have business owners. This is all in my family. Okay. I want everybody to understand that we can be different. This country has always been proud of the fact that we are a melting pot. Remember growing up and hearing that? We are a melting pot, and it makes us stronger and it makes us better. But the power that is hell-bent on maintaining that power and catering to the wealthy because it takes money to run for office.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. That is such a major problem.
Yeah.
It takes so much money to run for office, so it's only wealthy people getting elected on both sides.
Okay,
Not
pause.
always.
Not always. We have to stop saying that. Up in the past,
right,
we have either been able to had the people on the ballot that had enough money to fund their own campaign, so they're super wealthy, or they've taken large donations from other people and then they work for them, not for us. Okay. This is why on my campaign, I'm asking everybody, I'm running in the 3rd district. I've got 51,000 followers on Facebook. If everybody could give me $3 a month, $3 a month, that's less than $1 a week.
How can people donate to your campaign,
You
Kelly?
can go to kellythompsonforcongress.com and you can click right there, donate, and it'll have an option. And those $3 donations, $5, $10 if you want to, but I'm asking for 3. If every one of just my 50,000 followers on Facebook did 3, that's $150,000 a month. It's going to take $1.5 million for me to win this thing. Okay. It's a ridiculous amount of money. I can't wrap my head around it. It's wrong. But until we elect people like me to office and we can change campaign finance law,
right,
then we're stuck. This is the system we've got.
And I'm glad you pointed it out. We don't have to have all really wealthy people winning anymore because of social media.
Right.
You
right.
know?
We just have
So
to
the
get people
fact
to
that you're-
believe their $3 matters.
You have to have hope. And we had like a billionaire try to run for president on the Democrat
Yeah,
side.
yeah, he
And
lost.
he didn't get anywhere. He
Mm.
used tons of his money and he didn't get anywhere.
We had Elon Musk donate $1 million for a Wisconsin state Supreme Court race.
And that
lost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So we're seeing it. That is the biggest issue that I think the Republicans and the Democrats can agree on. We all realize billionaires are trying to control us.
Yep.
And we don't like it. So if we could keep running on that message and electing people like you and my friend Tim Peck for District 9 in Indiana, and get people that would work to pass legislation to get dark money out of politics, that would be a major way to fix some of the darkness that is in our country right now.
Absolutely.
And so I'm glad that you brought that up. Money is such a problem, but like we are starting to beat it and we have to have hope. The thing that the billionaires want us to feel is hopeless.
Yes.
They want us to feel divided, division, hate and fear for each other, stuck on stupid culture wars that are not real.
Right.
Instead of working together to elect people like you that want to take care of the dark money problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
And listen, this tactic is not new. They've been doing it in United States history since it was formed, right? Since we became a country. We wanted to say, okay, well, we've got the Irish, right? And we want to pit the Irish against the Italians, or we want to pit the black people against the Irish people or whatever. If you can take a downtrodden people, an abused people, and you tell them, don't feel bad because you're not as bad as these people, then they shift their thing and they think, oh, as long as I'm better than them, it doesn't matter how hard this guy beats me down, as long as there's always somebody underneath me. And that type of thinking has kept us from being able to do this.
Yes.
And say no more. This is why unions work. This is why unions are important. Unions understood, and listen, those union battles are hard fought. People lost their lives fighting for justice for the working people of this country. I say in my campaign, I just want this country to work for the people who are working for it. That's what I want more than anything. But they wouldn't. Unions recognize that singularly, alone, their voice doesn't matter. It's easily ignored. But when they collectively come together and bargain, and when they collectively demand, they get it. They get that. And that's what we as a nation of people, not billionaires, but people, listen, I don't care if you're a millionaire. I don't care if you have $10 million. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people who have billions. And we just think billions is more than millions.
We can't comprehend how much $1 billion is.
I heard somebody say the other day,
being should have $1 billion.
No, it's sociopathic. If you can have more money than you could spend in 1,000 lifetimes, and children are going to bed hungry, unhoused, uneducated, home alone because their mama has to work and you don't want to pay for childcare, or if you can sleep at night, there's something wrong with you. But we have an administration that caters to the sociopaths.
Yes. And I just want to point out, I say this all the time on my shows. Experts think 1 in 10 people are narcissistic sociopathic. They think 1 in 10 humans do not have basic empathy for others. And they tend to like to be in jobs where they control other people. I have the president of the Palmyra Town Council right now who is doing everything she can to fire our amazing town marshal, Dennis Limmel. And everybody likes him. He's the best. He's so wonderful. And it's like, these people, they might be your bad boss at Taco Bell. They might be the bad person that runs some such and such little thing, and they have, 5 people they rule over, or they might be a president.
Right?
like they're really good at getting power because they're also really brave in ways that people that have empathy aren't brave.
Yeah.
So we have to realize that not all humans are created the same. There's a big group of us out there that don't have as much empathy as other people, and they're good at manipulating us. They're good at lying to us. And something that frustrates me when I try to help my local government is how many good people believe the people that are manipulating them because they say they're doing bad things for good reasons. They're like, this is the thing we have to do because of this fake reason here that sounds really good.
Just like
And
Venezuela.
and so that is what's happening with Venezuela. Trump is giving a reason that sounds good. It sounds good to take down a bad dictator, but we shouldn't get involved in other countries' affairs like that. We're supposed to, if we go to war, we're supposed to ask Congress. It's overstepping our reach. It's acting like we are the country that matters more than any other country in the world. And they're lying, they're gaslighting, they're bullying all of us. And then the propaganda machine takes over and does whatever Trump says. So they're pumping out all this stuff. I've never had more trolling comments in my life, Kelly, than today on this. I don't know if you're seeing any of it.
No,
All
not.
these people that are blindly believing what the propaganda is pumping out.
Yeah.
And
Here's
we
the
have
thing, though.
got
We have to
do our
understand.
part. Yeah.
We have to understand. They want to believe it. It feels comforting. It's hard to admit someone lied to you and you believed it. It's unsettling. I, too, was a Republican until Donald Trump ran
Oh,
in
that's
2016.
interesting.
Okay, because the church I went to, this is you. If you go to church and you're a Christian, then you're a Republican, and this is who you are, and this is how you think. But my kids, my 6 kids that I had in an 11-year span, were all kind of teenager-esque at the same time, right? And they were calling me out on my BS, and they were saying things like, "Mom, why are you voting this way when you're making us live this way? Why is Jesus the standard for us in our life, but yet the politics that you're following doesn't feed people, doesn't heal people, doesn't turn the other cheek," right? And
Right.
so in listening to my kids call out the hypocrisy, and these were people, my children were people that I was unwilling to lose connection with, right? So I learned with them how to disagree while remaining connected. All right. And that's what I bring to the table now. And I listened to them and they were right. And I remember one time when my daughter got up and just walked out of church. The pastor said something and she was like, "No, I'm done." She was like maybe 12. And I followed her out to the parking lot. What's going on? She goes, "I am not going to sit there and listen to that man. I don't care if he's behind the pulpit with a microphone, bash another person. Not going to listen to that." I was like, "You're right. You're dead on right." But I'm saying all this because leaving the Republican Party and the church that I was in at the time was scary. Okay? To begin to believe that what you and I are saying is true risks social circles,
Yep.
family
If your whole
relationships,
group, your religion,
right?
your church, your
And
family is all believing this fake
yes,
stuff.
it's lonely, it's
You're so
unsettling,
right.
and it's hard. And that's why wherever I go, I tell people we have to be a people of welcome.
Yes.
We have to receive these people that are beginning to go, wait. I talked a while ago about an event I was at where there was 500 people at a dinner and they said, "Do you want to come meet him?" I'm like, "Yes, I want to come meet him." Right. But I was basically the only Democrat wandering around the room talking to this room full of people. And I had all of 8 people tell me they were a Democrat. Okay. So out of 500 people eating dinner, you got 492 Republicans. And at first they gave me side eye, wouldn't make eye contact. And I was just walking the room for 2.5 hours talking to people. And I came back around and said, "Do you have any questions?" And they were like, "Yeah, actually I do. You're running as a Democrat, right?" And I said, "Right." And they said, "So you don't believe in God?" Or,
Wow.
"You're a Democrat, right? So you want to take away all of our guns?"
Ah.
Or, "You're a Democrat, so you believe in open borders?" No. And when I got to dispel the propaganda of what they've been told that we are, loudly, proudly, repeatedly told that is who we are, I got to dispel that. And then they started calling me over to their tables. And they would say to me, I'm a Republican, but I'm also a veteran. And I'm really mad that the United States military is on the streets of our cities. They're mad. I talk to farmers. They're mad. Truck drivers. They're mad. Teachers. They're mad. I had one man come up to me and say, I've given money to Jim Banks. I've given money to Todd Young, and I've given money to Marlon Stutzman. I will never give them another penny. Where can I send you a check? And I say this because it is scary and it is hard, but we are at this tipping point where people can't be lied to anymore about their
Right.
own personal lives.
We've had it enough. Yeah,
We've had it enough. We've
Yeah.
had it with the lying.
Yes.
Aren't we
so
tired of
the
being
lying.
mad at each other?
I'm tired of the line. I'm tired of my side always vilifying other people that vote differently. I'm so sick
Yep.
of it. I don't want the lies. I go out on the street like you do, and I talk to regular people, and guess what? Most humans are good
Yes.
people. Most
Yep.
humans want very similar things.
Yep.
They want to have a nice life with their loved ones.
Yes.
They want to be able to pay their bills and have a
Yes.
little bit extra to do some nice things.
Yes.
And life is so hard for a giant majority of us.
Yeah.
And they are seeing it, and they are realizing they have been lied to. And you're
Yep.
right. It's scary. It's hard to come over. And the people that see what's going on, the people that are older, because again, 20-year-old version of me didn't get it. 45-year-old version gets it better. We, the people that understand what's going on, need to empathetically, compassionately explain it to anybody that will listen to us, and not just blindly assume because somebody is in a Republican culture that they're going to yell at you and like the trolls do on here.
Yeah.
Most people aren't trolls. And
So-
a lot of these people commenting these awful things, if I talk to them in person, I don't think they would say the mean things that they're calling us right now.
No.
I think they just hide behind their screens. So
And that's
most
okay.
people aren't like that.
And they're afraid of me. They're afraid of you. And
Yes.
they are because they've been told to be afraid of us.
Yes.
But when I talk to people, I'm like, here's what I really want. My radical agenda is childcare, healthcare,
helping hospitals,
affordable housing.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
This is radical. Call it
So
radical if
scary.
you want. It
Yeah,
shouldn't be
you're
radical. Every
terrifying,
other
Caleb.
industrialized
Yeah.
nation does it already. We don't. But here, I want to talk to you for just a second before we finish up here. If I feel like we might be running out of time, but I want to say this. What I started to do is to help people understand how important it is to plant a seed. And what I mean by that is I live where I live, and I have neighbors all around me that vote for Donald Trump, right? But if I go out, I went out to the mailbox the other day, and I open up my mailbox to get my mail, and my neighbor's there, and he's opening up his mailbox to get the mail. And it was after ICE did their raids in Chicago. And so I said, hey, how are you doing? He's like, fine. And he's like, how are you? And I said, oh, I'm good. I said, but I just can't get over what happened in Chicago. And he goes, what are you talking about? And I said, well, how the ICE came in with the military grade helicopters, and they stormed this apartment building, and they drug families, and children were zip tied in the middle of the night out on the street. And he's like, what are you talking about? And so I just said, I don't know, Jim. I just saw it. You Google it. And I walked in my house. Because here's the thing. These are not conversations that we have to win. But when we just drop a seed and let them do their own research, we have faith. We know that what we're saying is true. But let them go Google zip-tied kids in Chicago on the street at night and see what comes up. They'll get
their
photos.
side isn't seeing it.
Right.
The
They're
Republican
not
propaganda machine is not seeing the truth of what these ICE people are doing to American citizens and how they're terrorizing.
Just humans, what they're doing to humans.
Humans. There's no due process. They're throwing them in like a concentration camp style prison for days. Their families don't know where they are. It is terrifying. This is not how we treat human beings. And their side doesn't see it. So instead of getting mad, instead of us seeing the video and then getting mad at our neighbor who voted for Trump, realize our neighbor's not seeing that video.
Exactly. I did a video, I don't know, it's been a few months back now. It's been viewed 1.6 million times. Okay.
That's awesome.
And it was just me sitting right where I am now. I was one Sunday afternoon, and I was just overwhelmed. And I said, I have to know this is not okay with you. And I went down through the list of what was going on. I just need to know that this is not okay with you. But the messages that I got back from that, from so many people, were, I did not know.
Yes.
Any of this was happening. I did not know.
Yeah.
And so this is the powerful moment for us at that point, not to flush those people that are our neighbors, that there, but for the grace of God, go I. right? That we can say, I know he lied to us.
He lied to us all.
He lied to us all. Yep.
I would love for the things that he said to be true. I
Yep.
would love it when Trump said, I'm not going to get involved in any other international affairs. I'm going to focus on America. I would have loved for that to have been true.
Mhm.
But it's
Listen.
time for us to realize this man lies.
Yep.
This Venezuela thing is about money.
Yep.
It's about oil.
Yep.
It's about power.
Yep.
It's about like what do you call it, a division, like a
It's
tactic, so we
a
look over
distraction.
here, a distraction. So we look over here and we don't look at what Trump is doing to hurt everyday Americans.
Yeah.
And we have to be welcoming.
Yes.
I just want to touch before we leave. Yesterday, a Democrat attacked me and Project Next on Facebook.
Okay.
And they said fake things about Project Next. And I tried to get them to change the fake things. They accused me of interviewing a person that had a MAGA flag in the background, but actually it's a MACA, Make America Constitutional Again. And it was a man that's a friend of mine that's a former Republican that is trying to call out what Trump is doing. And he knows how to talk to Republicans because he is one. So I had him on the show so we could talk about it.
Perfect.
And she just accused me of being a monster. Like I tried to talk to her. And she just acted like I was telling her that she should be friends with racists and people that are sexist. And I'm like, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't want you to do anything that hurts you.
Right.
I'm saying as a country,
Yes.
we have to stop the division.
Yes.
We have to be non-violent.
Yes.
I have a trans cousin.
Yep, me too.
I have a gay friend, many gay friends.
Yes.
And I love them. And I am willing to talk to someone that is scared of a gay person.
Right.
And I am willing to care about that person that thinks fake things about them in the hopes that I can help that person's fears lessen so that my friends don't get hurt, don't have violent acts done to them because they're in the pride community.
Yep.
And I am just trying to say, everybody calm down.
Yeah.
We're not as evil as we think we are.
Yes.
But we're being fed things to make us think fake fears.
Yes.
And so, I care about this person that attacked me in Project Next, and it makes me sad. And I just see the division. The division is doing this to her.
Yes.
And I just want to say I have love for her. And I'm sorry that something I said made her mad. And I just hope that she can realize I am for nonviolence.
Yeah.
I am not here on a Democrat platform, a Republican platform. I'm here on a community-based platform where we have got to save our country.
Yeah.
So I just really appreciate your message because it's why I started Project Next with Tim Peck. And you really knew a lot about Venezuela. I wanted to talk a little bit about Putin, but we really didn't get into that. But
you could just kind of go ditto. Number one, two things on Putin. Number one, how would we feel if he did it to us? Number two, what do you think Donald Trump doing this to Venezuela? What kind of permission do you think that gives Putin? Why are we mad at what Putin's doing in Ukraine? Why do we think that's unfair? We think that's unfair because a leader of another country doesn't get to go into another sovereign nation and take what they want. We have known that was wrong from the beginning. That's exactly what we just did. Listen, but we've known Donald Trump loves Putin. We've known this for forever. He can say now he's upset with him. It's because Putin won't do what Donald Trump wants right now in regards to Ukraine. But Donald Trump is being played by both Bibi Netanyahu and by Putin. Okay? They know how to do it.
It's scary because our person that wants to play a dictator and doesn't always get away with it because America is still a democracy, but sometimes gets away with some things. It's scary that this dictator is almost 80 years old and the things he says, he'll like immediately say one thing and then say the exact opposite. I mean, if you listen to the man talk, it is alarming.
It is alarming. That's why I say even the removal of Donald Trump doesn't get rid of this problem.
No.
We know that he's not in charge.
No.
Right? I mean, let's just call a spade a spade.
What powers are behind the scenes running the show?
Right.
Why?
The Stephen Millers, the Russell Votes.
Why do we want this money? Why do we want what Venezuela has? What type of dirt?
Let's be honest. You and I don't benefit from this oil. When we say, why do we want it? We don't want it. Okay? Exxon wants it. Let's be really honest. That's not going to help us. Everything that this president has done has made us less safe. Everything. Everything's a national security issue right now. Our education system, our healthcare system, our power grid, the fact that we're losing allies around the world, the fact that we're setting a precedent for going into other countries and stealing their leaders to take their resources. This is a critical moment right now. If I can leave all of your listeners and viewers with one thing right now, it is vote. Vote in May and vote in November.
And
this
the
is
November
the one
vote,
power we have.
The November vote, no one knows how you vote. The
Right.
May vote in Indiana,
they'll know what ballot
whether
you pulled.
take a Republican ticket or a Democrat ticket.
Right.
But you all, when you go in and vote in November, nobody knows how you vote.
Right.
So you can be in your Republican culture
Yep.
and be educated enough to know this version of the Republican Party is running things like a dictator, authoritarian, and you don't support that.
Yep.
You can just vote who you want to vote for, but research your people, because you, Kelly, are not the typical Democrat that the Republicans are being fed to fear. You actually care about all human beings, and you want to make
100%.
everybody's life better. You want to take out dark money.
Yeah.
Tim wants to do that. I'm running for state house again, Kelly.
Good.
I want to do things to make state laws better.
Yes.
And we have to do our research about
Wonderful.
the people on the ballot and not just blindly vote straight party ticket, which in Indiana, we're one of 7 states that can do that. Research your people,
Vote
get
for
to know them a little bit. See if you message them, if they'll get back to you.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
that's important.
Yeah. See if they'll actually listen to you, because a lot of people in Indiana that are elected officials do not listen to their constituents.
No.
So, yeah.
And that's sad. That's the whole
on
job.
again.
Please
I want
do.
to have you on again sometime before the election, and just thank you so much.
Of course.
I think maybe we can come on in a month or so and we can follow up on this story, because
let's see what's happened between now and then.
Yeah, I appreciate you explaining it so well. Yeah, you're awesome. And like, go badass strong women.
Thank you. Go badass strong people. Regardless. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's just elect people who actually give a damn. That's what we have to do.
Let's elect people that care about the country and not some.
Yes. My slogan, is running like a mother.
Yeah. I
Finish
like that.
the sentence however you want, or put a period there, but that's what I'm doing. So thank you. Thank you,
Have
Sarah.
a great day. I know you're super
You
busy.
too.
Thanks for making time for me. I just
You bet.
messaged you about it yesterday. Thank you. And
You
everybody
betcha.
have a great day. Please share this episode with someone that's a little bit fearful about what's going on.
Yes.
Love you guys. Bye, everybody.
you.
And now
See you
follow you. What's your website?
KellyThompsonForCongress.com. And then I'm also at Kelly Thompson for Congress on Facebook, Kelly for Indiana on TikTok. We've got Twitter. If you go to my website, you'll be able to find us on all the socials. Please follow. I really do a good job about trying to post videos to educate us all, to bring us all up to speed to what's really going on. So thank you,
you're
everybody.
awesome. You're fantastic. I'm so glad you're running. Thank you for
Thank
running.
you. Thank you,
Sarah. To Jama. She's awesome.
Yep. My wonderful campaign manager. Bye-bye.